Hello, I'm Richard from Valley Sportsman Unlimited, and I'm going to be showing you how to do a smoked turkey this year and try to not make it dry. Usually I tend to smoke it for about 8 hours, that's what I try to at 225 degrees. So I'm trying to show you guys how to do it. I'm sure you guys could do it in the oven if you like. Just put your oven at 220 and you just bring it up to temperature real slow, and you just keep it at that low heat. And it's just hot enough to kill all the bacteria, and it just like slowly like makes it tender and fall right apart. The bones come right out of it. I want to show you first how I get ready to do it. What I do is I soak it in a brine overnight. I just got a 5-gallon bucket from Walmart, cleaned it out really good with hot soap water, and then I put my seasonings in it. I usually put like some type of like meat seasoning. Like I use Pappy's. It's real common here in California. You get a handful of your multiple salts. Like I do a handful of Pappy's, and then a handful of garlic powder, a handful of garlic salt, onion powder, onion salt, a little bit of chili pepper, and then just a little bit of apple vinegar just to give it a little bit of that tangy taste. And I mean just like a shot glass or half a shot glass, not very much apple cider. So I'll show you what that looks like, and I'll put the bird in. Alright, hang on a second. So I already got my seasonings already added. I already had it set up, and then I was like, man, I should make a video to show you guys how I do it. So I get my bucket and I add all my seasonings. So like the point of a brine is for it to be salty, okay? So you're not salting the bird and then putting it in there. You're just putting the salt into the bucket. Like I said, you do a handful of all those different seasonings. You put them in the bottom of the bucket, and then my nozzle sprays, and I spray it with hot water and put about 1 inch of water in there, and I mix it up really good as I'm spraying it. So the salts, the crystals melt inside of the water, and then you don't want to fill your bucket up, your 5-gallon bucket up all the way, depending on how big your bird is. This is a pretty heavy bird. I think it was about 18 pounds. So you want to do almost halfway filled with water, okay? Because if you fill it up all the way with water and you dunk your bird in there, water's going to come out all over the place, and your wife is going to kick your butt, okay? So what I do is fill it halfway up. You put the bird in, water comes up, then the bird's heavy enough it's going to sink to the bottom. And then what you do is you just add water to it to cover it up, okay? So basically, you just pick up the bird. You know, I leave the giblets and the neck and everything in there, and you just dunk it on in. Okay, just go slow, and it will fully submerge. Okay, this one might need to add a little bit of water, but it's right at the butt, you know. So, and also, I like to add a beer to it, a nice dark beer, because it helps break down the muscle fibers, and that's what you're trying. That's what makes your bird more tender, you know. So just pour the Blue Moon or whatever. You could use a light beer, whatever you want. You pour that in there. That makes it right over the butt. So, and then another thing when I like cooking, you know, you gotta get these elastic gloves, because it's very time consuming to you know, every time you do something to wash your hands. Elastic glove, bam, I'm done. Alright, stay tuned to the next step, don't go anywhere. Alright, so now for the turkey, what I like to do is put like this base over the top, or whatever you want to call it, sauce. So I get a tablespoon cracked pepper, tablespoon Himalayan salt. You can just use regular pepper and salt. Some Pappy's. Use your own seasoning that you feel comfortable with, that you like. Okay. I did 4 pieces of bacon. Slice them up real thin. Okay. The bacon is for the oils from it and the fat, the lard. It just adds the flavoring to your bird. Okay. And then I did a jalapeno. Okay. There's a full-size jalapeno right here, okay? So, out of the full size, I don't know, my family doesn't like hot stuff, so I just sliced up not even a quarter of one. Okay, slice it up real fine just for that extra taste. Alright. Alright, the most important ingredient is mayonnaise. Okay, mayonnaise has a lot of oil, and so when you put it under the skin of the bird, what it does is it traps the moisture trying to leave the meat because it's so thick with that oil and eggs and whatever else is in mayonnaise. You could probably try to do Miracle Whip, but I don't suggest it because that stuff is disgusting. Okay, so the bowl looks like that. Okay, and then use about a cup of mayonnaise. Like I said, you don't have to measure stuff out. Just go by feel. See how big your bird is. I'd put that much mayonnaise in there. Like, some people take cooking too serious. No, it's probably not even a whole cup, it's half cup. Anyways, so you just mix it up. If you use a spoon, which I probably should have used, but anyways, you just mix that bowl right on up. Alright, so got the bird soaking 24 hours. Go ahead and pull this bad boy out. You gotta be gentle with it. You want breast side up because that's always the driest piece of meat. Alright, you could dump the water out, but I like the moisture in the pan. So instead of scooping more out, you just leave what's in there. Oh my gosh, it's already trying to rip apart. Okay, do it on your hole. Right in your pan. Alright, like right now is when I take out the neck. All the other goodies. Just set them on the side. You could always cook them and throw them to your dogs. If you have dogs, it's a nice little present for them. Alright. Okay. So then now, just take your fingers and go in between the breast and the skin. Make a nice little pocket. You don't want to rip it. Just take your time, nice and slow. Just rip the skin off of the meat. But don't rip the skin. Okay, that's the secret to this. Okay, you want to get all that stuff inside of this cavity that you just made. Alright. Alright, so now that you got your cavity made, go ahead and take your mix. Don't put too much at a time. Just like a little bit, and just shove it. Scrape it off your fingers, push it way up in there. And smash it out. Okay, so, and you can always add more mayonnaise, add more seasoning if you don't have enough. But what you're trying to do is make a nice layer over the skin. Okay, to trap, or under the skin, over the breast, to trap the moisture in. Okay, so you don't have a dry turkey. Alright. Now that you got it all filled up with your delicious paste, just cover it up, throw it on the smoker. Alright, so I got the smoker going already. It's a lot easier this way. You got an electric smoker. Preheated with 220, okay? So I want to crank it up just a little bit, 275. Okay, just so when you first open the hood, it's going to let out a lot of heat. So I just want to crank it up a little bit. Throw the bird on there now. Gotta make room for our prime rib. Anyways, I wrapped it up tight, just so the the smoke don't penetrate too much because it's going to go in here for about 10 hours. And a lot of people don't like the intense smokiness. So I'm going to leave it at 275 for a minute. Close the lid. Probably for the first hour, I'll keep it at 275. And then I'll crank it down back to 225 and let it go for about 10 hours, 9 hours. Okay. Dinner's at 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning right now. So, alright. Stay tuned. I'll show you it when I'm pulling it off the grill. Alright. So it's been going for 9.5 hours. I'm about ready to pull it off. I just thought I'd open it up for you guys. I took the foil off of it about an hour and a half ago, so it browns the top a little bit. That's what it looks like. Just to show you, when you cook it slow, the meat just, as you can see, it just comes right off. I mean, just let me demonstrate. Yeah, that's gonna be delicious. Also got a fatty. Ooh, with some jalapeno poppers, but yeah, just pull it apart, like big old chunk. Delicious. Alright. Well, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember, Jesus loves you. And hopefully you liked our video and watch some of our other ones. Alright. You have a good day.
I should have been a cowboy. I should have learned to roll around. Wearing my 6-shoe, riding my pony on a cattle drive. I might have had a sidekick with a funny name, running wild through the hills, chasing Jesse James.